Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals. They're about to make that very clear.
Yeah, like MBR took a break, and then during the pandemic, I started did another band with like high school buddies, basically, called Burner State, and that was punk stuff, which was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then that band has kind of stopped, and then now Mike and I are in Easy Out, which is Easy Out for me is the band that I wish No Bragging Rights was when we first started, but like
the 90s version of No Bragging Rights.
Yeah. But we weren't good enough to write that kind of music.
I'm excited, guys. I'm buzzing to hear it. I mean, I only heard you guys once, and I got like the biggest tattoo on my legs that people are always like, "What does it say now?" And I'm like, "Don't worry." But
don't worry about it.
It needs a good it needs a good reline. Whatever it's called. But I heard you guys one time. Like, obviously, I'd heard you before I played with you, and then. I literally I think I was on tour, and I remember stopping in my friend's shop just being like, I need these words. And it's those words have resonated with me for my whole through my whole career, because I just think, it's never lose hope, never look back, and that's I think if I look at where I am today, it's like I don't know, it could be like my power statement of my life, because I just think you got to keep pushing forward. You're not going backwards, and don't give up. And I've not done that. So thank you guys for those beautiful words, because it really has connected with me deeply.
That's awesome. I still remember seeing that post, and I was just like, what? It's crazy. That's awesome.
I look back now, and I'm quite like I was saying before, I'm a massive tomboy. I'm always been one of the boys, but I just have long hair. And when I posted that, I got so many inappropriate messages and things, and I was like, this is not the purpose. This is to show the band that and my husband was like, I should have probably warned you that was going to happen. And I was like, and it's one of them stupid things where looking back now, I didn't think anything that deep. I should be able to wear a pair of shorts and post a thing, but I ended up having to it got weird. It got really weird. Really? And I just remember, just really odd. And I just remember being a bit okay, I hate the internet.
Oh man, the internet is equal parts awesome and equal parts suck. It's you gotta take the good with the bad, I guess. But
it's internet is it's a good
scary place.
Good things ruined.
Yeah.
Well, all I'm gonna do is not put my butt like that ever again on the internet.
It's funny. What's funny is that, and I might be, if I'm wrong about this, if you don't remember this at all, one, I won't feel bad, and also wouldn't surprise me. But I feel like we had a bonding moment talking about Let Live.
Yeah, we did.
That was us, right?
Because I sang Mother with Jason Butler, and it was a highlight of my life. And he came and watched us at a show that I happened to be I got put on a gig last minute a festival. I got put on a festival last minute that he was headlining, and I'm quite weird, even though I'm quite extroverted but I'm actually quite shy, believe it or not. But I found the courage to go up to him, and I was like, hey, you don't know me, but I'm playing this festival and I'm opening in 10 minutes. And he was like, okay. And I was like, would you like to watch me? And he was like, okay. And I think he was just kind of a bit this is cute. This girl is kind of as in it's sweet of you to. So he followed me to an empty room and I did my thing. And then I came off stage and he was like, would you like to play a show with me in Birmingham? And I was like, would I? And we still talk, he still hits me up. And when he saw I was in Dream State, he was like, girl, it's your time to shine. Show them what you fucking got. And he reaches out to me, not often, but we have communication. I joined one of his live sessions on Instagram, and he spent 10 minutes telling all his fans, hey guys, Jessie from Dream State's just joined. have you heard of fucking band? He spoke. I was like, what the fuck? I kind of like logged off. I got really embarrassed. So yeah, we definitely would have had a bonding moment about Let Live because that's such a special band.
He's such a good dude. I mean,
do you guys
the best frontman, but such a good dude.
So do you guys know him as well? Like, as in, because you're all out in America, I appreciate you probably have a lot more interaction with him.
Yeah, so we've known Jason. We know the Let Live dudes for a minute. We played with them locally. Like I'm from Riverside, and I remember we played with them. It was Up in Smoke in Corona or Riverside.
I don't know.
You've played with them.
Yeah, we played with them a long time ago, and then.
You talking about Pipe Dreams? Wasn't it
Pipe Dreams?
Yeah. That was Corona.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that was a fun, and they jumped on that, like no questions asked.
Yeah. And I remember like Jason and that whole band, all of them were like really just rad dudes. And then we played with them, I think, at Chain Reaction, and then we did a tour that was 100th, us, and Let Live.
Nice.
And someone else.
When 100th was still a hardcore band.
Yeah. And that whole tour was just like, it was just at this point, you become friends and stuff, but it's like we're friends, and then when you get on stage, I'm back to being a fan. Like I never missed the Let Live set. It was the worst. I think it helped us grow as a band, but it was also the worst thing to play after Let Live every night.
I bet.
Like,
yeah,
I was like,
the performance that he puts on as a frontman is just absolutely, even to this day with the new Fever stuff, he's unreal. He's so good. It's
just so much energy. Like I remember some advice he gave me like back in the day. It was just like, just show him. He was just like, show him. And I was like, what? And he was like, just show him. And I think what he meant was like, I was for a few years a bit stagnant. Like, I think because I was like very aware that I was one of the in my scene, it was like me and two other girls doing what we did. And it was like a confidence thing, maybe, even though I knew I could do it vocally. It was like, but then I watched him and bands like Feed the Rhino and stuff and just see how they like conducted themselves. And Jason was like, you're high energy as a person, like we've hung out, you're a super high energy person, be yourself, and just go with it. And I remember just listening to that and then like going out onto a set and just doing it, and it just changed for us. Like it just absolutely changed the minute I started to like just lose control with the music. Like people with Dream State now are saying like the energy is just off the fucking chain. Like it's not supposed to be like a beat down band, but I'll get like 15,000 people now to just beat down, and it's not a hardcore band, and I'll get them swinging, and it's just, I don't give a shit. So I think having that, I do thank Jason for just giving me that little word of he was like, tell them or show them. It was something like that. And it's just stayed with me because I noticed the more I gave, the more they gave me back. So now I give them like, my live shows, like the boys actually have to like, usually after like show 2 of tour, they have to like have a word with me and say, Jess, just like rein it back a little bit because you're going to fuck yourself up. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then every night I'll do the same. And they're like, you're a fucking animal. You're out of control. So it's harder now though. I'm straight edge. I've been straight edge for nearly 3 years. And it's really important to me to show up. I treat this as my job. And I wouldn't have gone to my corporate job like fucked up. So I try to take a different approach with Dream State. I feel really privileged to have the opportunity for one last time. So I'm straight edge, and that was scary trying to still give it full beans when you haven't got a bit of Dutch courage, like a couple of shots of tequila or a couple of tins of Red Stripe to give you that buzz. So it took me a few shows to like find it. But I think adrenaline now just carries me to another dimension. But yeah, big up Jason Butler, man. Like, I hope Let Live come back. I'm gutted to see he just cancelled a huge tour out here in the UK. I tried to get on that tour, but then he's just pulled it. So it's obviously health before anything else, obviously. But I just wish him well and hope that he realises how amazing he is and he comes back.
There seems to be a lot of tours getting kind of canceled lately. I just saw that Trash Boat was supposed to come over with Downswing, and they canceled the entire U.S. and Canada run.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Going back to being straight edge and exerting a lot of energy and not having that, that, like you said, that courage, or even just that numbing from like the night before, right? When you're sore and tired. Man, I seen Jason wreck himself, and he's straight edge, and I was just so in awe. Like I saw him dive head first into a trash can. He brought it on stage and he dove through it. And I'm just like, how did you not break something of your body? But also, like, you're going to feel that shit. You're going to feel that shit tonight, and then you're going to feel that shit tomorrow, and you have to do this all over again. And then he go back to just being crazy. It was, that band was like, it's like, what's the term? It's like jazz, where it's like, it's different every time.
Yeah.
Like that band it's like a living, breathing thing. Like you'll never see the same Let Live set.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Different.
I saw him backflip once and fall onto his face, and he just got up, shook it off, and carried on. And I was like, "You've just smashed your face off the floor." Like I was side stage many moons ago at Download, and I was working for a magazine, and they asked me to go and, this is before I like met him. They asked me to go and like film it or take photos, and I physically saw him backflip, his face, and just get up and just carry on. And I was like, I'm sure he's just literally smashed his face, but he just carried on.
And he still looks cool doing it. If we were to do that, we would look so dumb.
Yeah.
I tried to do a kick one time, and I hadn't like done some yoga, and like I'm pretty sure my hip's still dislocated. I know that's an age thing now, but like it doesn't click right. Like, like sometimes you wake up, you're like, oh, I remember that kick. Like, I don't know if it's my age playing into it now, but I'm a bit like, I used to like be able to kick like to the fucking ceiling, and now I have to give it that bend and up. It's not as angelic as it once was. Everyone used to think I did ballet, but I was like, no, I just like hardcore music. But now it's really like in my brain, I'm like, bend and kick. Otherwise it hurts. I'm too old, honestly. Like, it hurts. Yeah.
I've for MBR, but now I think I'm having to do it for Easy Out for this project. But like for No Bragging Rights, I have to be in shape. I have to like run. I have to make sure I'm like stretching. I have to do all this crazy stuff. Like,
yeah, you do.
I jump rope with like a weighted vest.
Wow.
Like I have an elevation mask that I'll use, and I do all these crazy things just so I can be on stage and like get through the songs. Like that's like, you would think that my training would make me be doing like flips and being like Jason basically, but I'm just doing all that stuff so that I can get through my set. So,
well, one thing about going straight edge, just going back to it, is I piled on like, this is probably why the kicks aren't as easy. Going to straight edge, I piled on like 3 stone, which I respect completely. I'm not a big, like, you wouldn't look at me and say you're fat, like whatever, but 3 stone, you feel that, right? So I clearly replaced like 1 toxic for another. So if I wasn't having like a couple of rums a night, I'd be sat there with like 2 share bags of Maltesers and Milky Stars, just smashing them down with anxiety before a show. And not only would it make me feel sick as fuck, it would also, I piled on the weight, just piled it on. And I remember my husband being like, he would never judge me for my weight, but I remember trying to put on an outfit that I used to wear, like a pair of like leather trousers and like a band t-shirt that was a kind of crop. And I couldn't even get the leather trousers like past my butt. And he was like, why are you doing this? Like, I feel like you're sabotage. I feel like you finally got the platform you want, that you've always wanted, and you're absolutely sabotaging yourself. Like, I don't know what you're doing, because this is all you've wanted. And it's like, it doesn't matter how you look. Your vocals are amazing, but like, I know you'd want to go out there in the pants that you want to wear, and now you're upset because they don't fit you, and you've still got to go out. And then people are not kind to me. The amount of people that have tagged me, and I'm like, meh, it's like not attract. Like, I'm like, give me a break. So anyway, I've shifted like 20 pound of that now, just by cutting out the chocky and the pop before bed. I've stopped gorging on like anxiety binge. And I've learned to like respect my body. And a bit like you just said, I'm like hitting the weights now, and I'm like doing like 12,000 steps a day, so that when I go out on these tours and I have to do 90-minute sets and I'm playing to like sometimes 600 people, sometimes 2,000, sometimes 10, I want everyone to leave that show and say that was one of the best live bands I have seen. And that is the reaction we're getting after every single show. Sincerely, like if we play, the reviews will be like, we'll always be in like one of the top bands of the weekend or one of the top bands on the bill. And that is what I aspire to have. And I kind of regret that the first year of Dream State, I just kind of like sabotaged. I think it was a nerve thing, like not having the crutch of like alcohol or like, it was just trying to juggle straight edge was hard. So I just ate, and like the boys would be like, Jess, you've had like 4 Snickers bars and like 2 cheeseburgers and it's like 3 a.m. And I was like, I'm just so anxious. So I'm balancing it all. But yeah, like straight edge is difficult because you put on the weight. But then now I found that level of self-respect for myself where I want to deliver, not even about physically how I look. Internally, I want to be the best I can. So as our shows are getting bigger, I can keep up with the volume and the pace. Yeah. I don't want to let people down. So yeah.
Do you feel like early on in those early years with the band, do you feel like that anxiety was a little bit higher because it was like I'm the new girl here, and you're just adjusting, almost like trying to fit in, trying to make sure I'm doing this right, and you just find ways to kind of deal with it?
Absolutely. The imposter syndrome kicked in massively. I mean, I said no when they approached me on the internet and asked me to audition. I pretty much was going to say no. I was like, I'm in my 30s, I'm married now, living that hiking Saturday life with my collie and my husband. Like, no one wants to see it. They didn't want to see it when I was 20 in my prime, giving it some beans. So why do they care now? And my husband was like, I'd want to see it. And I was like, are you for real? He was like, I met you as a front woman, and you've kind of, since you've left music, you've lost that little spark that made you like you. Like, you have this infectious energy because you're passionate. Like, if I talk to you about hardcore or like metal, you like light up, and you've lost that because you're not talking about it anymore. And he was like, I think you should go out there and get the stage you deserve, like go for it. And because he kind of like, he always gasses me, which is probably why we've been together like 17 years, but like he just like is my biggest fan, and he made me believe in myself. But then the really hardcore Dream State fans, the first song we dropped was really difficult because understandably the band had been on a hiatus due to mental health reasons for the old singer, which she's publicly put on the internet. You can Google it. So to me to come in for a band that went viral, they were on UTA, they were on UNFD, they were playing with Amity, they were playing with I Prevail as main support level. And I've been out of the scene for like, at that point, like 6 years, hadn't played a show, had lost my love for like music because I felt really bitter at the scene for not hearing me. And yeah, it was so difficult. I had to stop like going on YouTube and stuff because the comments would just leave me like even worse of a state. And I'd gone straight edge when joining Dream State, and it was all just a lot to cope with, not being able to go out. And, you know, before when I was a kid, if I got a bad review, I could go out and be like, oh, it's all good. Let's all just go and drink a load of rum and just forget, you know, but you don't have that. So I was dealing with a lot. But what I will say is very quickly, because we were like dropping song after song after song, like we've been relentless for nearly 3 years with delivery of new music. The fans kind of were like, hold on, this is all right. Like, this girl's vocals are really good. Or I didn't like it when I first heard Taunt Me, but then they've dropped a heavier one. And I've brought a lot of heavier fans to Dream State. So what I've noticed is there's a lot of bands who are like, either I loved you in Aurora, or I love that you bring like, there's a more of a brutal vibe to the band now when we see it live, which it didn't have before. So there's a lot of like heavier fans, and a lot of the fans that initially didn't like me have actually come up to my face at shows and been like, I'll be honest, I didn't like you because my loyalty was with Charlotte, but actually live, this is incredible. And it's mad what people will say to your face and think it's okay. So I just
Europe.
honest to God, they and the
UK.
Germany is the worst for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, sorry, I'm not going to apologize. I'm me. I go off on tangents, but what I'm trying to say is it was very difficult, very difficult, guys. And you imagine being in a band that was viral, they were on every cover of every magazine, they had the top agents, and then they had nothing, like with DIY. And I was really lucky that when we went live with the first track, all the promoters that had booked me back in Aurora were like, hey, great to have you back. What are you saying? So all these bookings started coming into me, and I got us our first show, and we were main support to Comeback Kid. No, to Counterparts was my first show, and that was given to me directly on Instagram because the promoter who was putting it on remembered booking me when I was like 16 and said, your vocals were out of this world when I met you as a kid. You're in a band that I love. Come and play. And he was like, don't let me down. And we got given that show literally this Saturday 2 years ago. And the rest has been like, my life has just completely changed. Like, yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, crazy times, but it's been a rough few years, honestly.
Yeah, well, I mean, and like I feel what you said about, like, you know, you were doing music for a long time. I mean, I think when I met you in Aurora, like, you guys, was that, because that wasn't your first band, was it?
I've been fronting bands since I was like 14.
Yeah. And so I get that whole of like I gave this everything. And, you know, I know you're appreciative of like what you did get in that time, and obviously, like, you know, but it's hard to not feel like, man, for all the time I gave and for everything I did, and for, you know, I don't know how things ended with you. Like for MBR, like we had other things going on. It was more of a burnout for us, and it was just kind of like we just kind of faded out, and it was just kind of like, oh, I guess we're done. I guess we're done now. And I was like kind of okay with it, because I don't know if I had a bitterness, but I was just kind of like, well, you know,
like I did
it, and now I'm just like, I'm like tired of it. But I think for you, it sounds like for you, like to be like, I gave this everything, and, you know, not feeling fully appreciated for it. And then
I was just getting pissed off with being the opener. I was being pissed off with getting to be the opener every time to festivals, being the only girl in a green room, or bar like one other band, like Becca from Marmozets and me would be sat in a green room. I'd be the opener, and then the boys that were headlining sounded like a boy that's voice hadn't broken trying to do some beat downs, and they'd be like the headliner, and I'd just be sat there like, the more that happened, sincerely, the more that happened, and the more I'd just be like, yeah, you can have an opening slot to this festival. I'd get like wild reactions from people that saw me, but then that would be it. And then, like I was saying earlier when we were having a chat before, like I'd have meetings with industry people, and I think at the time, towards the end, I got to like 24, 25, and I remember industry people being like, oh, if only you were 19. And I thought, I've been doing this since I was like 14 and no one cared. Yeah. So now I'm too old. So please believe when Dream State approached me in my 30s, I was like, this is not going to work. No one's going to care. But actually, there's this huge market now for women, which is fantastic. But it's just a bit still frustrating. And I bowed out of Aurora because I gave it 6-7 years of my everything. So then I decided to, like, since I stepped away from Aurora, I like thrived in, when I had a corporate job, I thrived in my sales role, and I bought a house, I got married, I traveled the world. I did things that I was never able to do because I was spending every penny and every annual leave I had trying to make it as an artist. So I dedicated my life more to like things I missed out on. Yeah. And then I took I think I took about 6 years out, and I truly never thought, before Dream State, just a heads up, before Dream State, I actually auditioned for a death metal band who approached me. And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. And boy, did that shatter my confidence, because they basically turned around and were like, we've got some concerns, being that you're a woman in her 30s and you're married. So obviously you're going to want a kid. And we're just a bit concerned it will ruin our schedule. And I just sat there like, I remember coming off the call and I just cried, because I was like, I finally like took the courage to go for that heavy band that I know I can vocally deliver, and they just shot me down based on things that did not matter. And so again, 3 weeks later, Dream State approached me, and I was like, well, why am I going to put myself up to be embarrassed like that again? But I thank God for my husband being such a supportive man, because without his support, I wouldn't be doing what I love, and I wouldn't be who I am today. So I'm super, super like happy to have him.
Yeah, that's huge.
On one hand, like for that band, to me, like, why even have you go through the audition if that's something that's already in their hands?
I think I was kind of like
sense.
Yeah, I think I was kind of like put forward to them, and they kind of felt obliged to do it. I think someone suggested, like, hey, if you're looking for a good like metal vocalist, there's this girl, she can sing, like she's classically trained in opera, so she can sing, but then she can actually scream like really low and like really high.
Range. Yeah.
So why don't you give her a go? And I think they felt obliged rather than, I don't think they actually wanted to. Because I remember like reaching out to some of the members being like, hey, like I'm auditioning for you guys. I'm super gassed. Like, hope you like my track. Just ghosted me. And I don't get ghosted, as in like, I've always been with one guy, so I don't know what that felt like, but I felt like what people would feel like. I was like, is this ghosting? And all my friends who were single were like, yeah, you got ghosted. I was like, they're like, it's okay. Like, you can take that one ghosting. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. So yeah, it's been that knocked my confidence, but now here we are, 3 years on nearly, and about to go on my third headline tour, which is doing really well. So thank you, boys, for not having me, because
dude, you've done what was the big you did Download Fest, which was insane. But
bucket list.
Man, what a jump. And you know, going back to like how you said your first year you're having trouble, like that's a huge jump, you know, from what you're doing before to now, those opportunities you were starting to get. Like, so be kind to yourself, you know, for how you handle it. It's hard, you know, you don't know until you're in that situation, right? Everyone can say all the right things. You're probably saying all the right things yourself in the moment, but when you're in it and you're living it, and you have all this pressure and these, like, you know, you're putting in these positions that you really, you know, hadn't been to before, in that, like, at least in that level. Yeah. Like, you're doing the best you can, and it's awesome that now, you know, you've had time to get through that. You weathered that storm, and now it sounds like you're in a good place. And
I'm just hungry now. Like, I'm like, my fire's been relit in my soul, and I feel like it's like a scary place for people. Like, I feel like right now I feel like a strong contender that shouldn't be like tested, because the more people are going to tell me I can't, the more I'm going to like keep dropping tracks that are going to like just slap, because that's going to push me. So it's like, I've got a window as a woman with a womb. So yeah, I just kind of got to like go for it. This is my last time to dance, and I'm just going to keep going till someone says, here's your bus pass, you're done, you know.
And it sounds like you have a great support system behind you too, like with your husband.
I know I've said my husband, like, sorry, don't worry, I'm not like being like, you know how some people are like, is he making, like, we're like, I just got lucky, guys, to meet my best friend that I love. Like, we met as kids and we've grown together. He's supported me throughout everything I do. And I know this podcast is not about my husband, but like, I have to just thank him. I'm so grateful, because like, he could have been a bit like, well, we've just got married, we just got a dog, we're enjoying like the quieter life now, hiking and doing our like trips, but he was like so selfless. And when we just got offered a tour to America like this summer, I remember being a bit upset, being like, I'm gonna be gone for ages and ages, and I got a bit upset because I was a bit like, this is changing us a lot, like our dynamic, there's a lot of change going on, and I know that I love you regardless. And he was just like, no matter where the world takes you, I'll be here waiting. And I was just like, stop. So
that just made me feel something.
Since I'm blessed, like, I know that. So with his support, I think I can take on the world. And he sits here and like does all my like, when I'm like recording at home, he'll be like, you had a really good like idea last night that you were like jamming. Let's get it down. And he like pushes me and does all my content and makes me like, he was like, did you do that Lorna Shore cover yet? No. Do it. And like, we'll do it. And he's like, yeah, like so yeah. Wow. I'm going to stop talking about my husband.
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that you're sharing that, because I feel like, a lot of people, it's hard to be with somebody like that's a musician, an artist, like being an artist in general. And then an artist that, like if you get asked to do something, like you call to do something, like you're going to, you do it, and you have to, obviously you can make decisions for yourself, but a lot of stuff, it's kind of like, oh, this is what we have, so we're going to go, we have to, like time is not always your own, and to have somebody to be like flexible with that, or even like, so just excited for you and supportive of that. Like, I think it's cool that you're sharing that, because I don't think it's sadly, I don't think that's a very common thing, because you hear about relationships.
I've noticed.
Yeah. Relationships ending because of that.
I'll be honest, if he'd have turned around and said, like, let's say he turned around and said, like, you go to that, if you get offered a tour for like 3 months and you go, we're done, I would be like, well, I'm leaving the band, because but I'm fortunate to be not put in that position. And like I said earlier, I think I was so suppressed and so unconsciously depressed, not having an outlet of creativity that was mine, because all I've done since I was 4 is write or play. I wasn't good at school, and they'd always like send me out of the room and take me to like the choir lady that I loved. She was like my mom, and they'd be like, you could just spend the day with Mrs. Chu, and all the teachers would be like happy about that because they would get stuff done. And I thank Mrs. Chu, because I did choir every day for nearly 18 years. I'm Catholic. I went to a Catholic primary school, high school, college, which is where I think my opera influence came from, the church. And thank you teachers, for not wanting my energy in your room, because thanks to you, the lung capacity I have is thanks to the choir teacher. So, yeah.
That's awesome. On the way here, we're talking about just like how I would have tried to motivate me, because I wasn't a good student in like high school. I wasn't a good college student. And it's just like, I was like, I just didn't have like, I think I would have found different ways to motivate myself. But, going through it, it's like, not everyone's, I feel like your situation is awesome in the sense that like they found an outlet for you that is now, giving you these like crazy opportunities. Yeah. But it's always a bummer when it's like, just because you don't do well in school, it's like, oh, then you're done, or you're a loser, or you're not gonna do anything. It's like, no, everyone has something they're good at. Just like sometimes what you're learning in school, like it's hard to take that and be like, yeah, I'm gonna have.
I get what you're saying. Now. I think what they notice as well, I think they noticed from a very young age that I could, the octave I could sing was quite high. So they were like, they would like really chant, like everything was about, Jessie, you're doing the lead on this opera, you're doing this opera, we're in this production and you're doing this bit. It was like because I'm not not academic, but I'm not strong in like maths and stuff. They would be like, I'm very lucky that the teachers decided to like push me to where I guess was right for me. Yeah. But I just want to quickly go back to like, we were talking earlier about relationships, and do you guys ever feel like selfish? Because one thing I'm like battling with personally, and I like to be really open and honest on these kind of calls, because I just think it's important to be like real about things. And I feel very sometimes like I get sad because I sometimes feel like selfish in terms of, if I look at what my life looks like right now, it's all about me and what my schedule is and what I'm doing and where I'm going and what tours I'm doing and what trips I'm taking. But obviously when you're in such a long-term relationship, there is a part of me sometimes. I remember being in Graspop in Belgium. I've just played to like thousands of people, and I remember coming off stage being like, like I've never been to Belgium with my husband. Like, I wonder if he'd like to be here. And it just like, I just sometimes get a little bit like, as an artist, you have to be selfish. But then you have all this like, I do get like a bit of not a regret, that's the wrong word, like I feel a bit, I'm aware of that, and it makes me sometimes feel like, oh, this is like almost unfair. But then when he's being like so supportive sincerely, then it's like, okay, I'm not like crossing any lines. But I don't know, it plays on my mind. I wondered if you guys, as you know, you've toured forever and you've done bigger things than me, has that kind of thought ever crossed your mind? Or
I mean, yeah, the selfish. I remember like in my time touring, I went through a change, and I remember when I started to experience it, I was like, oh man, like I guess maybe because the early years of touring, I was happy to leave, and I didn't care what I was missing. You know, I didn't care if I missed someone's birthday or a wedding, or I was just like, I'm doing music, I'm living my life for me. This is what I'm doing, and I almost had like no regrets about that. And I think the other guys were kind of in the same boat, which is why we did so much with the size of our band. Like there's a lot of stuff we shouldn't have done, but we were just so like adamant about like, we're going to figure out how to get on the road and stay there.
Let's just be gone for 7 months.
Let's just be gone. Yeah. You know, and that was like nothing to us. Like I could be gone in 3 months, no big deal. And then when it started to change and I started to like actually want to be at things, and I was kind of getting tired of missing, you know, special occasions, you know, and it started to get harder. And then I started to like feel like the selfishness, like, man, I'm just doing, you know, I used to almost feel like a guilt of like, I get to do this like crazy stuff, and like everyone, like my friends are like working jobs, you know, that they're unhappy at, whatever. But it was, I don't know, I don't think that ever goes away, the feeling selfish, because it is such a weird concept to be able to like travel and get paid, you know, to do music, right? Like it's crazy. It's a crazy thought. Like,
it's a luxury. It's an actual like privilege to be doing what we're doing. Like I think, like you said earlier, there's so many people sat in jobs they hate, surrounded by people they don't like, and there's no outlet for them. And I think we're in a privileged position whereby I can like count down till my next tour, and I'll go and see like 20 new countries or cities that I've never been, and make new friends and have all these memories. But I just ask always other artists how they feel about that. But like,
I think a part of that too is that also kicks in once you start to really develop like meaningful relationships. Yeah. You know, like when you actually, because I mean, it sounds bad, but when I was younger, like I would have relationships that would completely fall apart, and I'd almost be like, okay, I kind of expected that because this is what we do. Yeah. But then, you know, once you start to really like have a meaningful relationship with somebody, or you actually genuinely care for this person, then it's like, okay, now you start to feel, okay, I'm sad I missed this birthday, or, you know, I wish I could be home for this, or, you know.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, like I'm super close to my granddad. Like I'm super close to my granddad, and me being away so much these last 2 years, like he's super happy for me because he used to like do country western music and stuff. So I've got a big influence from him, and like, he's super happy for me. But like, I do see him still, but like if I go away for like 6 weeks, I FaceTime him, like, you know, and I just, that's a shift I'm adjusting to, is like, I've been so fortunate to live only like an hour away from my family, that I see them regularly. So then when I go away, I'm still like adjusting to, it's more like my grandparents that I miss loads, but yeah, I'm sure everyone goes through the same feelings as well. So,
you know, something that just think about this recently for me. So we're almost at 6 months of marriage, and
congrats.
So you know that's
whack.
That's new. That's new for me. But something that kind of helps, I don't know, is, you know, when like, so we did a tour last year. And for the first half of it, you know, we were separated. She came and did a couple of dates with us towards the end of it. But in that time, while I was gone, it was one of those things where it's like, and I think a little bit of carryover of my last stint of touring, which is, I'm going to make sure that like, I'm not wasting time in this, and that I'm making this count. Like I'm gone for a reason, and I'm going to make my time gone. Like, it's going to matter. Like I need to make sure that I'm not just phoning anything in. I'm not taking anything lightly. like every show, it's like I'm preparing and warming up the same way. I'm going to always do it. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to do everything so that I'm not cheating, you know, or dishonoring like the people in my life for me to be doing this, like for me to have this opportunity to do this. Like, I'm not going to waste that. And I think that's kind of helped with like the selfishness or a feeling or like the guilt is like, you know, I'm not here just like I'm getting away from anything. Like, this is something I have a privilege of being able to do and opportunity to do, and I'm not gonna like it's not without like seriousness or weight. Like, this is, you know, I'm away from it, you know, at the time. I'm away from my girlfriend at the time, and it's like in family, so I'm not gonna like half-ass a nice performance no matter how many people are here or aren't here, you know. And so I think that was kind of helpful for me, that it was like my time, I'm away, but I'm here and I'm giving everything I can. So, cause like, I don't want to like disrespect the people that I'm leaving behind, I guess.
Yeah. That's really cool. And I think I resonate with that. I think I go out, like I say, I want to always go out and give it everything, because this is all I wanted. Like, when I met you guys, I thought I'd made it. That show I played with you guys, even though like I was the opener, of course I was, 'cause, you know, I was the opener, and I'm not bitter about that, as you can hear. No, I was privileged. When we got asked, it was like, that was cool. It was like, people are listening up, like they're going to give me a shot to play with some of my idols. Like, I think it was like for Fallen Dreams, Dream on Dreamer, like other bands like that. I think the lineup was ridiculous. And, you know, I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like it's funny how back then I was like, I don't know. I just wish, looking back then, I could have told 15 years ago me that don't worry, like you're going to get what you want, but just like, yeah. So I think that has come down to like the being relentless and like going for these things that scared me and just doing it anyway. Yeah. And going straight edge has been another reason why I've done it, so that I can show up the best version of myself for this opportunity, because I don't take it lightly. This is all I've ever dreamed of, and I just think it might just pay off for me to like really look after myself and can take care of my vocals. Who knows what I'm doing? Maybe Nightwish might need a singer in 10 years, and they'll be like, yo, we always replace our singer every 10 years. What are you saying? You know?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. And what's cool is that for you, you know, I guess you haven't really said this. I'm assuming this based on the fact that you still do vocal lessons, right? That's like your
one thing Dream State opened up for me is I created my own business based on demand. So I do a multitude of things, such as like band consultancy, singing lessons, ghostwriting. I write like metal and pop songs for other bands, and they just pay me now. And again, that's all thanks to Dream State's. Like, I'm literally, I went live in May, just to go off on a tangent as always. I went live in May, really scared, like no one's going to come. I'm fully booked till first week of December. And amazing. That's my full-time job now. So I can be anywhere in the world now. I set that up purposely, so I can be anywhere in the world. I've even gone back into promotion, and I'm about to do my first sold-out show, which drops in about 2 weeks, which is already predicted to sell out. And it's just, my company has become like this huge ball of different avenues. And I'm so glad, again, I use my like sales background to realize people are asking me to sing for their song. Someone's asking me to teach them to scream. Why don't I create a business and be on Zoom and get paid? So I went live in May after big demand in the January up until May. And I think my husband said like the other day, he was like, you are like, I'm making more money sometimes than I was in my corporate like job. So I struck when the iron's hot, and the undiagnosed ADHD in me just fucking hit it, and it's just paid off.
That's amazing.
Just to give a business plug there on the podcast, Jessie Powell Music, if you want a metal singer.
That rules. I love that.
Don't get me wrong, though. It's going to be peaks and troughs, isn't it? It's going to be like peaks and troughs. I could be dead in January, but right now, because we've had such a big summer, people are just keen to do the singing lessons.
It's such a cool thing, especially because, you know, you're already at a point where whether you fully realize or not, you're an inspiration for a lot of people, girls especially, that are seeing you up there killing it, like ripping these shows and going, I want to do that. Right.
Thank you.
And
that
then
means so much.
And having that translate into like, now I can also work with you and help you build your own self, your own brand, your own confidence, and teach you kind of the things that I learned. Because like, that's something that a lot of, like, all of us really didn't have when we were younger. Like,
I mentor like 12 bands now, so I can't take them on as a manager yet, even though like there's a lot of ask right now, but I'm not in a position to like manage anyone because I'm doing a lot DIY, like Dream State of DIY. So we, you know, we do a lot, we do everything ourselves. So I do like, so for example, tomorrow I've got like 4 bookings where I spend 90 minutes with a band, and I'll look at, so like tomorrow there's one band who's got a new song dropping in November, and they'll be like, Jessie, how do I get the best of this song to get the best reach, to get the best, what should I do? And I'll be like, you should have come to me 3 months ago because your song's dropping in 6 weeks. We haven't got enough time. But I'll then give them my 90-minute bit of advice, and then they just come back and they just come back. And because I'm so passionate about what I'm talking about, I think people are like really invested by that. They feel like I'm being sincere when I tell them I care, and I think it's translating really well to these people. So they keep just booking back in with me, and they'll be like, this is just a one-off. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. And then I'll get an email like, we had such a great time on the call. Can we book in again? So I do see me going down the route of like managing booking down the road, but I want to build up like enough portfolio over the next 5 years so that I can say, hey, listen, I've actually helped 150 bands deliver to a different level.
Yeah.
If you would like to, there's a few bands I've been to see live lately, like Girl Fronted, Kids. I've gone out of my way, like traveled like 3 hours to watch them. I've got my eye on a few girls that, when we're talking hardcore, like cool music, not just like a Spirit Box rip, like cool energy. I've definitely, like, maybe down the line might see me probably present myself as like a female manager for girl fronted metal. Yeah, I'd like to do that. But before I get too deep into that, I want to like see how far I can make my own career first as a musician.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you basically said, so Dream State isn't signed?
No, so we have no record label, we have no manager, and for the first 18 months of the band, we had no booking agent. It predominantly came through myself, the booking, and the boys did a lot of we all collectively the 4 of us bring so many elements to the band, and we played a festival last summer called Radar, which was amazing, and off the back of Radar, we got Download, because someone from Download was there, and they were like, what you've just done in this room was nuts, like, we want to book you. And then off the back of that show, we also got put forward to a booking agent called Atonal, who we'd had many calls with different agents for booking, really cool people, but it just didn't, I think we were just doing so well on our own that we were like, tell me why I should give you 20% of my show, and they couldn't. So I'd be like, see ya. Without being funny, like, I haven't got time to like just be like on a roster of 100. So this booking agent, we went with Atonal. So we've been with Atonal now like coming up to 1 year, and they're doing lots in the background at the moment. Still lots of shows come to me, and I pass them through to my agent. But he's really cool, actually. If there's a couple of shows that I'll be like, look, bro, like, I've negotiated the fee, I've negotiated this, that. He just doesn't charge me because he's like, I can't, like, I'll send him an offer. Not often, but there's a few where I've sent an offer and been like, hey, I negotiated the fee. I've been dealing with it for the last 6 months to get to where it is. And then they'll be like, yeah, you can have that one. You've done our job.
That's
so,
huge. That's...
fingers crossed. We had a chat with them like this week, and we really want to like see what's going on, what's cooking for us. And I think with everything we've got in the pipeline now over the next 2 years, I think you'll see us. I'm gonna say it. I think you'll see us come to the States. I think you'll see us in Australia. I think you'll see us in Tokyo. I think our plan now is just like, let's be heard and see what happens.
Just world domination.
But honestly, Dream State is self-funded. We've released 2 EPs. We play a load of shows, go in the studio. We don't have a label pushing that or a manager. Every tour has not had any support like that. So I think it's hard for one of the members. He was the original member, and he's gone from playing with like Amity, I Prevail, Baby Metal, you name it. He's played with them when they were like on the up. Dream State were about to like be on tour with Bring Me. Like they were literally about to like take over, and they had all the right people in their team. And I think that must be really hard. Like we played a show in Germany last year, and Of Mice and Men were next door, and we went into the next door room, and I remember the guitarist saying, like of my band, saying, it's mad, like these are the kind of rooms I'd played before. And obviously our room was like 400 people, but the room next door was say 3,000. And obviously he's grateful for the comeback, but it feels, I think I can appreciate for him, he's almost taken like 5 steps back, but he's also very grateful that we kind of seem to be going, fingers crossed, if we keep delivering, I feel like it's coming back for us. Just we had to prove. I wouldn't have wanted to have joined Dream State and gone out with tour with I Prevail. I don't think I'd have deserved that. I want people to see me deliver an album, an EP, another out, and be like she deserves the spot, not like she just got handed it. That's so yeah. It's a weird one because obviously we'd love to be where we were, but I'm willing to put in the work to get back there. But it's hard. We've got a couple of people coming to watch us on this tour, different companies. But again, a lot of conversations we're having, they just kind of be like, we don't know what else we can give you that you're not already doing. And it's a bit like, well, a good manager would say that they can.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I shouldn't have to be like spoon feeding these conversations. So for now, I think collectively as a 4, we all have strong enough attributes to maintain this. But there is going to get a point where we need, like, we want to drop an album and we're going to need a label, because we can't just keep dropping these songs and having them just kind of go viral for like a day. I want to be like everywhere. Like if you look at my friends' bands who are on like say Century Media or Hassle, they'll get a cover of a magazine. They'll be on every poster at a festival. There's a big difference when you get that label. You get like that push. So I think that's what we need now to be heard a bit further.
Well, you guys are putting yourselves in a position where the best deal is going to stand out. Yeah, just based on the fact that you said, like, the minute you're going to find or anyone that's going to be like, okay, we can offer you this, but you guys, don't have now, or we can make this better. It's going to be so much easier and clearer to see, as opposed to just, we hope that somebody can do this. It's like, no, you guys know what you guys do.
I need someone to come in and be as passionate as Dream State as we are, and be as hungry as we are. And I think if someone sat us down and actually asked for our stats in terms of what we make money-wise, how many tickets we sell, from a business perspective, it's a really healthy time to take on Dream State. Like, we will go on this headliner in 2 weeks and we will come back with profit. We will sell merch out. Like, if I was going to manage a band, it would be someone that is going on tours, selling thousands of tickets and thousands in merch. Like, I just sometimes wish we had an opportunity to have conversations with people in a more, from a business perspective, because this is a business to me, and I just want to keep it growing. That's like the sales head in me. And I just think if I was to be given a chance to have a chat with like a bigger label or a bigger manager, they'd actually realize that they could be sitting on something that's running itself, but they would give us their platform to give us the push, which would then in turn make more money. But there's just, like you said earlier, there's so many other girls now. I'm one of 1,000 and I'm not that special. I can gas myself up and my husband can, but ultimately I'm at a point in my life where I believe what's supposed to be for me isn't going to pass me, and what's supposed to be mine will present itself through my hard work. So I'm not going to sweat it anymore or get upset. I'm just going to enjoy the ride while it's here, boys, because I'm going to be a has-been in 5 years, so I might as well just enjoy the ride.
Well, I think a good thing that you guys have going for you too is that like one, you know, we had kind of talked about this kind of off the episode before we got started. Yes, there are a ton of new projects that have, you know, female front women that are up there doing it, but the levels of talent are very obvious when you start to see like those live performances. You know, everybody can sound great on a record, but when you come through and you put together a hell of a show versus you going to see this show and you go, oh, they don't sound like they do in my car when I'm listening to this. So that one thing that you have leaps and bounds over that is your music background and your range, your training, things like that. But also when it comes to a situation where you guys are doing these talks with a bigger label that can give you maybe bigger distribution, things like that, you've been in the trenches and you know, one, what you guys are capable of, what you guys are doing, you know, numbers wise. And then two, you can, like, you're in a position now where you can spot the people that aren't going to do anything for you. Right. So you have that knowledge to where you, like, okay, you're not going to do anything we can't do for ourselves. So we're going to move forward. Where a lot of people coming into this, they're clueless. They just go, oh, you're a label, you can put me in front of people. Great. And then you just sign your life away.
Yeah. I think I'm very aware that every move we make is critical now, because we could literally completely collapse by making the wrong turns. Like if we were to pick a manager that really didn't care and a label that had no interest in pushing us, we would just, the band would crumble. So we need, like I say, when we have these meetings with people, and we have had meetings, if they are not literally like as passionate as I am, and their eyes aren't like mine, like talking about it and like really like, you know, like I can feel energy like massively. I don't know why. I've always had a really good ability to feel energy of a situation, which has kind of kept me alive, I think. Mm-hmm. And I'm not like a spiritual, like I'm not like a witch, I don't think, but it's more like, you know, I just know when something's off. And every time I've said no to something, I've always had someone from like a higher level be like, yeah, you dodged a bullet there. And I just can tell on these calls. I think because I'm doing it at a very low level to like younger bands, I treat them how I'd want to be treated. When someone's coming in, and I'd rather people didn't talk so much and just show me. So I'd rather they didn't talk so much talk. I'd rather they say, if you were to come on my roster, these are the 3 tours I could guarantee you'd have. If you come on my roster, these are the places that you would get this. Not, I'm going to do this. And I kind of want to see, like, I've already pitched you to 5 different tours that I know their manager. They're happy to take you if you sign here. Whereas it's not those conversations. It's just a lot of, sometimes I feel like it can be what we want to hear. But again, all the boys are really clued up. They've been in the scene forever. Like Jake goes on tour with like Sleep Token in their crew. Tom does like our drummer Tom. He goes and works for like Mode Step, Def Havana. He's like so good that other bands just take him out to earn money, because me and Tom and Jake all had to leave our jobs to go on our last tour last year because our bosses said no. So we all had to step away from our like salary, which is something I've had for 16 years. And Alid's really lucky that his boss, he's got a really niche job so he can keep it. I think he's like in IT and he's been there forever. So he has a bigger flex there. But us three, we had to like, Jake went and did, like create a TM company, and Tom does freelance drumming and teaching. And that's what inspired me to do my company. And what I'm trying to say is like, we all know, we're all quite lucky that everyone has got a brain that brings different. And with Jake knowing people he knows, and Alid knowing people he knows, and I know people I know, and Tom knowing, you know, the story goes on, we can get advice from people higher up that are happy to help us. So we're in a kind of a good position, but I just wish those higher up people would find the room to take us, because it would change our lives.
It's coming. You can only, some things can only be, I think, hidden for so long, you know, like, and you guys have put in a lot of work, and you guys, like I said, like we've been saying, something's going to come up, and I think it'll be easier for you guys to spot, just because you guys all know more or less what you want and what needs you need to be filled.
Absolutely. Let's see what happens. Hey, it'd be cool if things like when's this being aired? Just so I can maybe not say some things.
This will come out on Friday.
Oh, just in time for our new song, everybody. We're dropping a new song before tour, which is probably one of the best songs I've written, and the feedback has been incredible. It's really really cool. I'm really proud of everyone for it, and I think we're gonna start we're just gonna start getting these songs out to we're actually gonna start sending them out now and be like, hey, we want to get in the studio now and do an album. We've done 2 EPs off on our own. These are our figures. And I'm talking I want to aim big. I want Century Media, Sharp Tone. I want to just aim high, because I've got one go. And
yeah,
if they're interested, then we'll go from there. But I'm just going to keep releasing music, keep plowing, and keep my head down and just focus on me and what I'm doing. Not worry. I got really fixated a year ago about all these other bands passing me by. So I just kind of keep my head down and just worry about me. And I feel less stressed just focusing on my business.
If I had a nickel for bands that we've taken out on tour that have blown up or big enough. It's funny. I've, just a band that I even forget that we took out was Being as an Ocean.
Wow.
We took those guys out, and they did pretty well.
Well, Dream State pre-me toured with them, and then the year I came back to the year I joined the band, we were sent that tour to put on to apply for it. We didn't get it. Another girl fronted got it, but I'm dying to tour with them, because that would work really well. Yeah. They're one of my favorite bands. Not as much as No Bragging Rights, but I mean that sincerely. I won't be getting any tattoos, but I would love a tour with them.
That would be amazing. Which I think we did a US run last year, and then we did Australia. But I think all of us would like to come back to the UK, come back to
Please
Europe.
Come back. I'll put you, if you do come back to the UK, please hit me up, because I could, like I say, I'm getting back into my promotion now. Keep your eyes out for that, because if it sells out, which I've been told by the owner it's gonna, which Dude. I love that I haven't even gone live with it, and he's like, it's gonna sell out. So if it does, that should be a really good kickstart to things, and I'm gonna start doing it. Yeah, just I did a couple back in Birmingham back in the day, and they sold out. So and I would put Dream State, or maybe a side project, a cheeky hardcore side project. if one, I keep getting told I should do a side project. So if that happened, I could just open. I could be like old times and just open for you guys again.
Dude.
But please come back to the UK. Everyone loved you guys. Please come back to the UK. I think it needs to happen. You guys need to I don't know. I just feel I'd love it if I could see you guys as active as you were, and just have the position that you're supposed to have. I think it's not over for you guys, and I'm excited to see what happens for you guys as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I've become that guy that I used to always talk so much shit on, which was I used to hate when bands would say, "Oh, we're writing." It's you said that shit 2 years ago, and and now I'm
I think you literally said that 2 years ago.
I did when we came back to do some shows, and then we're like, all right, let's write, guys. But everyone's busy. Our drummer is he's kind of narrowed it down. Martin's in two band or
Just this Monday.
Maybe just this Monday now. Yeah. So
nice. Well, yeah, I'm buzzing. Please let me know if you come back.
We will. Also, side note, just because have you heard of a German band called Set Your Sails?
Yeah.
Awesome.
She's I'm pretty sure she's reached out to me on Instagram. It's a girl singer, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she reached out to me on Instagram, and I can't remember exactly what was said, but like she sends me a lot of crowns, and when I do vocal covers, she's very vocal on them with praise. I don't know them or anything like that, but the interaction I've had briefly with the singer has been really, really nice. But yeah, how come you mention those guys?
So, well, she's really sweet. Her name's Jules, and because they reached out. I guess it's almost been like 2 years now, probably
Longer than that.
Is it longer than that?
Probably.
That's what I recorded that with you, right?
Mm.
Oh no! I did the mark. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did a feature for them. They were doing a cover of "Shallow."
Nice.
And so she asked if I wanted to do it, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then she had like a connection to our album cycles and stuff, and so then it was like, because I didn't know who they were. It was like a cold reach out, just kind of like, hey, we'd like
same, yeah.
And so it was cool. So I got to know them quite a bit, and actually, I don't think she'll care that I said this, but when they were about to release their album, she sent me their lyrics to see if they were like if they were like like grammatically correct, because their German is the first language, and
yeah, of course.
And so it was cool to kind of be able to help out in that way of being
nice.
Like, yeah, I don't know if I'm the best person to ask for that, but it was it was sweet of me to do that. But anyway, they're girl fronted. She has a really good cleans, really good screams.
Nice.
I feel like if you guys did something together, like if you guys did a run together.
I think she's already asked me, yeah. I think she's already asked me she reached out to me a couple of years ago and asked, and I said, look, anything I could do, I'll try and help you. Yeah, that was when we were like DIY. Listen, I'm always here to help girls. I always try and put a girl on my tours. I always try and put a girl on my crew. I always try and the UK run we've just got, I've just added like a couple of girl fronted bands to like open the shows. I'm always cool to help people. At the moment, it's hard because our schedule's like quite locked in, but yeah, I know who they are and they're on my radar, and anytime I can help someone, I think she already sort of, like I say, a few years ago said like something around the line. So they're on my radar, and if I can ever help them, I can't explain it. I've never been inundated as I have with requests to do this kind of stuff. I must get hundreds a week now, and it's usually girls, and I want to help everyone, but I'm only one person. So if you are listening and you feel mugged off, I'm only a human. I'm getting to a point where I'm almost like, I can't even, I reply to everybody. Like I always have, because, if someone takes their time to reply to me, I'm going to reply back. But it's getting honestly like quite overwhelming. So they're on my list, and I'll definitely, if I can, like I say, nothing but love there. What can I be? I post a cover and she sends me a crown. What an angel.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you though for bringing that to my attention, because I'll definitely write their name down again and have a listen to your words or the grammar check.
Yeah,
I probably shouldn't have said that.
Mike's, yeah, because you're gonna hear it and go, "Oh, Mike doesn't speak English well at all either."
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I don't talk good, so
nor do I.
Talk good. I don't. Yeah. Well, I guess we kind of covered mental health, but do mental health check.
Let's do the mental health check. That way we can let her sleep, because she's.
I know
what
time
it's
is it?
10.
Now?
It's 10. Do you know something, boys? I'm an early bird because I'm up so early. Like, do you know something though? This is not a problem. Like when I'm on tour, I go to bed at like 2 a.m. It's not. I'm very, very grateful to be here. I've wanted to do this with you guys for such a long time. From a fan point of view, and just like, it'd be really cool to reach to some American audience. Like, our listening in America is one of our highest on Spotify. We've got a huge following out there. So hopefully there's some people that tune in and listen. So don't stress about that. But I do appreciate we've been on. So what, if you've got any more questions, I'm all ears. But if you want to wrap it up, then that's also cool.
Let's do our mental health check and then add a song to our playlist, and then we
okay.
Yeah. So we're still getting used to this, doing our podcast like this with the cameras and stuff. So it's always weird to be like, mental health check is where we like to check in weekly, see where we're at mentally. That way, if things are going well, what are we doing in our life that is keeping us in a good place? And if things aren't going so well, maybe what are we maybe neglecting to do, or what's going on that's keeping us in a funk? So, Jessie, where are you at?
This week I'm feeling all right. Just had a really wholesome Sunday here in the UK, pumpkin picking with a ton of nieces that are all under 5. So that's been really awesome. Wholesome for my broody soul. Mm-hmm. Had a really good day with family. So I'm trying to have as much quality time with family before I head out on tour. I've hit the gym. Before COVID, I used to lift quite a lot, and I stopped, which is gutting because I looked like Tomb Raider at one point. That was my goal. And then, so I started lifting again. I'm on like week 3, and it's been really good. I've had some stuff go on with family, which has been quite distressing. And to be lifting again has really been, I forgot how good it was to lift, just to like have an hour to myself and obviously just like forget about everything. So yeah, gym, family, walking, and just trying to honestly take it day by day, guys. Because I think if you try and worry too much about what's going to happen next week, you're not going to enjoy the moments in front of you. So that's where I'm at.
Oh man. So I've had I kind of talked about it earlier. Just there's a job that I've wanted, and then I applied for it, and in the meantime I needed to work, so I applied for another job and I got it, and I started working at it, and then while I was working the job, I got an interview for the job that I actually really wanted, did it, and found out it wasn't going to happen. This was last week. And so last week was rough because I was at a job and I felt really like one foot in, one foot out, because I felt like if I got that yes for the other job, then I was going to leave and I was going to go do that.
Yeah.
So it made being where I was at difficult, because I was just constant, like my mind wasn't there, which sucks, because I don't like being that. I like to be fully, if I'm there, I'm there. I need to be there. And so it was a rough week, because for what I do, I'm doing behavioral therapy for children with autism.
Wow.
And so one of my clients, I'm in a first grade classroom from 8 a.m. till 2:30. So I'm with first graders, and
love that.
It's a lot.
It's cool to be with your peers, right?
Like whenever the teacher does something on the board, I'm like, I know that one. No,
that's a really nice job.
It is, and I think getting the no from the other place, it was like a really big like kick in the nuts, and but like once I got past it, then it was like, okay, I need to like I need to reframe everything. I need to like change how I'm viewing this, and so now I'm like 100%. I want to be awesome for these kids, or I want to do well at my job, and so I think going into it now, I'm actually excited. I want to be good at this, and
it's a renewed sense of purpose.
Yes.
I love that.
And I finally have answers to like my schedule. My schedule has been,
God.
And my wife over there.
I was about to say, do you need to hug your wife? It sounds like you've had a review.
I was here first. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
I was here first.
Yeah, I mean, even with you, I apologize. It's just my schedule's been so all over the place. So now, finally, I I have my schedule, and I'm able to. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to structure some things, but at least now we have a base, and I'm excited about that. I like routine.
Same.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have that for a minute, and now I do. So
Onwards
last
and
week was
upwards.
rough. What's that?
Onwards and upwards, then, right?
Yes. So last week was rough, but it's been good. It's just we just left a family brunch thing for one of my aunts, so I got to see some family as well, and that was good. And we're here finally getting to talk with you is something we've been wanting to do for a
forever.
minute.
Yeah, we've had you on the list for forever.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
And yeah, so I'm yeah, it started off rough, and now I think I'm heading towards some good and some things I'm excited about. So I'm
buzzing for you.
Thank you, Michael. Where are you at?
Overall, I'm good. I mean, pretty much things just kind of rolling as they always do. I am happy that we now have some solidity with your schedule, so we can start figuring out, how to shift everything and make everything work.
Yeah.
I've had this like head cold since you dove into the bushes at Shamrocks. But it just hasn't gone away. I don't know what it is. Are you still cut up?
Yeah.
And but other than that, everything's been good. We played Chain Friday night with Torture Culture. That was fun.
I love that.
Yeah, everything has just been kind of chilling. It's just other than this grossness. But
I hope that goes for you soon. And what about your wife? How's she feeling this week? Does she want to share?
How are you feeling, babe?
I'm good.
She's like, I'm just happy he has a job.
Yeah.
It's been a hard week for me this week because I'm a freelance organizer, and I have had only 2 days this week. So 3 days I was not working, and it was really rough. So I stayed in bed almost all day. Didn't even feel motivated to go to the gym, which is rough for me. So it was tough, but I've got a full week this week, so that's exciting. Yeah.
Oh, go and slay, queen.
Yeah, she completely feels you on the peaks and valleys of having your own business.
I'm only a few months into mine, so if you want to give me any advice on what to expect, I'm all giving it loads of it's going really well. You're going to speak to me in 6 months. I'll be like, I've had no jobs come in. I'm having to clean for my nan again, like I had to do in January. Help me. So yeah, it's
ebbs and flows. So
that's what I've heard. But I'm gonna. At least we're out there trying, right? So.
Yeah.
One of the things for her is, how do we promote her and what she does? Because it's hard to for people are always surprised when they find out what she does. She does organizing,
what do you do?
Packing, and furniture assembly. She's
Nice.
she's a professional organizer.
I need you in my life. Do you want to come to the UK and just do my?
Yeah, and so one of the bummer things for her is I'm like, well, I can help you with I can make videos for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's your social media look like? What content and stuff are you getting out to make sure people know that you exist? Where are you putting it?
Building furniture really, really fast.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised how therapeutic people find that. And there's a huge audience for people that would love someone to come and organize their life. So if that's what you do, you should put a short, sharp snippet of what you do. People love watching things that are messy be less chaotic. I certainly do. So do it.
I love it. Yeah, I make the videos, and I'm like, after I'm done with it, I'm like, I like it's therapeutic for me. So,
well, please feel free to send me a link if you've got Instagram. Send me a link, and I'll give it a little push for you because we've got to help the ladies out.
Yes,
love it.
Yes.
All right, playlist jams.
Oh yeah, playlist. So, give us a Dream State song that you'd like for us to add, and then give us any song that wanted to throw on our playlist?
No genre
No
restrictions.
genre,
Yeah.
be anything.
Okay, well, there isn't. By the time this is aired, we'll have released a brand new single called Bloom, which is coming out on Friday, UK time. We haven't decided the time, so it should hopefully be out by the time you guys... Friday.
Do you guys have you guys run into where it's like, okay, we're releasing it? For us, it's always like, it's coming out at midnight. And then it like comes out at like 10 p.m. For us, it's like not midnight. We're like, oh, shit. Like we put it on the
we
wrong
do
time.
it like, it's usually... Most releases have been like 10 a.m. UK time. But I think Australia obviously get it like... So what happens is a lot of the Australian fans, because we've got a lot of Aussie fans, they start to like share the Spotify of the song. And we're like, no, like it's not out here yet.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
getting
funny.
used to like my socials seem to like really blow up when there's a song release. People want to like let me know they're listening. And it's always like Australia. So I have to wait till it's released here. Then I can share. But anyway, Bloom is our new single, and it's about you didn't ask that, but I'm gonna tell you what it's about. It's just about the journey, and I feel like when in the beginning it was a bit rough, but now I feel like it says it in the word really, like bloom. I think we're all in a place where we can sort of feel now it's really starting to like become Dream State 2.0. Take that as you will. It's just a different dream state, but it's our dream state. And a song that I'd love to add to your playlist. God, there's so many, isn't there?
This is a tough one, right?
Okay. Well, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to support some girls today. And I'm going to put in a bit of Knock Loose featuring Poppy, Suffocate, because that song makes me want to fight in a good way, in a sort of rhythmic way. So I'd say Knock Loose featuring Poppy, Suffocate is something that if it's not, I'm sure it's already in your playlist, but that's what I'd like to choose.
Cool. We definitely have some Knock Loose, but I don't think...
Not that one.
Yeah.
It just wakes me up in the morning. Like I'll listen to it. I'm like, it's like I get up early because I've got a border collie, so I have to take him out, and like I just have it in my ears, and it's just like Suffocate, and it's like it's like so loud. But I like the tone of it.
And the breakdown is so groovy on that
Oh
song too.
my
So
God.
it's just, it's good. Do you have a song?
You know what? I'm gonna go with the last song that was playing on our way here. From the band Homegrown.
Nice.
Suffer. Actually, do we have that already on here?
I don't think so.
What about you?
I'm gonna add, just because we played with them on Friday, Get the Shot. The song is called Dominant Predation, and it's just heavy. And I've seen videos of Get the Shot play. I've never seen them play live. And this dude, is huge. Yeah. He's like massive, but he's such a nice guy. He came up to me after our set and like, we chopped it up for a little bit. But also like I watched him not just crowd surf, but like stand on the crowd, and they held him up and he was just standing straight up on people screaming. And I was like, this is insane. This is wild. I don't have the core strength to balance myself on people just holding my feet. So I was pretty impressed. It was good.
Love that.
We almost went out to that show, but I think I sent something like, I'm still licking my wounds from the news.
Hey, listen, I honestly believe like everything happens how it's supposed to, right? So I think whilst it's not what you wanted, perhaps this is going to mean that you have more capacity for more important things. Not that your job isn't important, but the things that mean something to you and make you feel alive. So honestly, I wish you all the best with that job, because I think sometimes it can be, we always get fixated on what we didn't get. And I've been guilty of that. And I think it's sometimes about being a really appreciative of what we've got and just like trying to, I just try and digest that that's where I'm supposed to be right now. I think that's the only way it helps, doesn't it? If it hurts, right?
Yeah. My wife has a nice little saying of rejection is God's protection.
Oh,
say it like she says it, please.
what's your wife called, please? Because I'm here for her
Her name is
energy.
Jordan.
Yeah,
Jordan, that is a beautiful, beautiful quote. I'm here for that.
Yeah, so we're
Say it how
Michael
she-
Jordan.
Say it how she says it, please.
Rejection. No, I was kidding.
Mike, do
You say it, Jordan. You say it.
Now she's
Now I got the pressure, and now it's gonna be really southern.
Rejection is God's protection. Okay.
Are you from Texas?
No, Florida.
She's from Florida. She's
Florida.
from the South.
Do
Do you know something?
The deep south.
Since my nan's, so just quickly, my nan's from Belize and my grandfather's from Egypt, so I don't know what that makes me, but I'm definitely not English. And anyway, one speaks Arabic and one speaks Mexican. It's a wild house, let me tell you. But listen, what I'm trying to say is that one sister got on a boat to America and my nan come on the boat to England. Granddad sort of kidnapped her from Belize, and basically, I'm out in Florida lots because all my family are out in Florida or like Georgia or New York. So if I'm ever back in Florida, which probably is going to be soon, I don't know whereabouts, we always sort of stay near Kissimmee. Maybe we can all go and, like, we usually go to a game, or maybe you can come and have some wings with us guys. It'd be cool.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Yeah, she's when she's tired or maybe she's had some drinks, you get to hear the accent.
When she's around me, it tends to come out a
Yeah.
little bit more for some reason. Or we just talk crap to each other.
Yeah. Rejection is God's protection.
There it is.
There it is.
Love
is.
that.
All right. Well, Jessie, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Listen, it's my pleasure. It's been a privilege. Again, massive fan and just really grateful for your time. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you guys on your wonderful podcast.
Thank you.
You want to plug some socials, plug the business, and then we'll
Plug it
Yeah,
all.
I mean, I've
then
talked
go to
about it
bed.
a lot, but I'll just say quickly, I'm a small business owner of Jessie Powell Music. So if you want me to feature on a song or teach you to scream safely or anything, have a look at the website. And just quickly, all things Dream State, we are going out on a headline tour. You're all in the States, so you're not going to be able to come. But we are going out to Europe, which is super cool. And if you haven't got us on Instagram or Spotify, we're a DIY band, so that all helps. And I'm going to let you all go to sleep because you've had my voice for far too long and nobody asked for it for this long. So listen, peace and love, and thank you for your time.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
I do
love
hope
you
you
guys.
come to the UK, guys. Let me know if you come.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see you all.
Yes, absolutely.
We should do a Walking Blind does the UK.
Dude,
Sick.
that'd be amazing.
All right. Well, we love you guys. We'll see you guys soon. Peace. Jessie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jesse.
See you later.
Bye, bye, bye.